Hello, beautiful people. You know what time it is. August wrap up, September TBR. We're gonna make this quick and easy today. Let's get right into it. Alrighty, besties. So we read 8 books this month. Woo! That's right. Better than last month. Not that last month wasn't bad. I mean, 3 books, that's more than that's practically what people read in a year. So, anyways, this month we read 8. It was a good reading month. I physically read most of them. One of them was an audiobook, and I kind of regret just doing audio. I wish I would have followed along with it, but we'll get into that in a little bit. We're going to start with the first book I read, which was Assistant to the Villain. I did start this in July, but I was going through a slump, so it took me a bit to read it. But this was my first finish of the month. Assistant to the Villain, Hannah Nicole Meyer. I think it was a good book. It took me a while to get into it, and I really didn't get hooked until the last 20% maybe. I rated this 4 stars. I think it's cute. It's very much a slow burn. One thing happens, and that's it. And from my knowledge of the next books, still very little happens. So if you're looking for a slow burn romantasy, this will be it for you. But I did think this was a cute book. However, it didn't click with me enough to want to read the next book right away, so I did not. I didn't read it at all, actually. I'll probably get to it eventually. I just need to get into a better reading groove and just be more in the mood for it, because I'm a mood reader, as we all know. But the third book of this came out this month as well. I do have that as well. I bought that. So I'll read those eventually, but I gave this 4 stars. Alrighty, the next book I read, this was really where my reading started to pick back up again, because Assistant to the Villain took a while to read. But then I picked up Cash by Jessica Peterson. This was one of my August TBR reads, actually. This was, I believe, Maddie chose? Yes, I'm going to say Maddie chose this. And oh my god, good choice. I love this. I rated this a 4.5. The first few chapters, I did not like Molly. She was very annoying to me, but I was like, I know I'm gonna love it once we get past that and once we know her a little bit better. And I was right, because I really like Molly. And I love Cash, obviously. Who wouldn't? And I really liked the handling of grief in this as well. This is Cash, and we have Molly. He's the owner of a ranch. Her father owns said ranch. He dies. She inherits it. He's not happy about it. So I don't want to say it's enemies to lovers, because they're not really enemies. And I don't want to say rivals either, because they're not. I'll go dislike. But I'm not going to say they ever really disliked each other. They just disliked the situation that they were in. Also, Cash is a grumpy man. So if you love a grumpy, sunshine type beat, cowboy, small town, this is definitely for you. Alrighty, the next book I didn't read at all. I listened to it. It's audiobook. The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up book by Mark Manson. I was just looking for something to listen to that seemed to be easy, and I've always heard decent things about this book, so I thought, why not give it a try? I rated it 3 stars because I didn't really know how to rate it, because I definitely would have liked it more if I actually followed along with it, because I feel like I would have retained things a lot better. There were some good points in the book being made, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed about life and other things like that. But there's other parts where I feel like they might be relatable to a specific target group compared to others. But yeah, if you do read this, follow along if you also want to do the audiobook. But yeah, the book does discuss not trying, happiness being a problem, how you're not special. These really throw you off. I know, you're like, what are you talking about, Caitlin? The value of suffering, how you are always choosing, no matter if you make a choice or not, you're choosing, that kind of thing. You being wrong about everything, failure is the way forward, and the importance of saying no, and the acceptance of death. And I did like this because it gave a different perspective on everything. So he did make a lot of good points, and they were interesting and things that I've never thought of. And I think that's what I liked about it most. We're going to move on to the next book. The next book is going to be Wyatt by Jessica Peterson. This is the second book in the Lucky River Ranch series. This traditionally published this month as well. I think it's beautiful. I like these covers. They're cute. But anyways, to Wyatt. I rated this a 4.75. But on my Goodreads, I just give it a full 5 because I love Wyatt. This is a best friends to lovers trope. And if you know anything about me, it's that I love a best friends to lovers. I think that's like the top, probably the top trope. And I feel like that's just the success for any relationship in general. For a romantic relationship, you need to be best friends with that person. So that's why I'm a big fan of best friends to lovers. There's Sally and there's Wyatt. They've been best friends since forever. Sally comes back to her hometown after going to vet school, and she's like there just for the summer before she goes to New York. So this is kind of like the last chance for Wyatt to tell her how he feels, and she also doesn't know what to do. She's also kind of going through like I'm gonna say a quarter life crisis about if she really wants to move for her vet thing, the job that she got offered. This is a good book to read if you're looking for romance, but also something about like not knowing what you want to do with your life, not sure if you're making the right decision. This would be good for it. But their love for each other just made me melt inside. I love these two. Like, they know each other inside and out. And what more could you ask for in any type of relationship, you know? They both had their own individual side stories, if you will. His was dealing with the grief of losing his mom. Well, his parents. Mainly his parents, but mainly his mom he talks about more. And hers is more about deciding what she wants to do in her life, as I said before. But I really like how much they got of time being apart to learn about both of them, as well as both of them together. Because I love getting a deep dive into each character in my romance books. Those are always my like top tier ones. All my favorite romance books, you feel like you really know like the character like deep to their soul, and I really like that. But yes, I love these two. I rated this 4.75 / just a 5-star. I go back and forth because I feel like 4.75 is kind of just a cop out for a 5. I don't know. Because it's like so close to 5, you almost feel bad giving it a 4.75, so you just give it a 5. But I don't know. But I love these sprayed edges. And once again, cowboy. As I said before, she's a veterinarian. And if you love the secret tattoo trope, here's Wyatt. May I present to you Wyatt? Yes, this was my 4th book of the month. The next book I read was Sawyer, which is the 3rd book of the Lucky River Ranch series by Jessica Peterson. I love this one. It's not traditionally out yet. I think it comes out in, I don't know when it comes out actually, October, November. So I don't have it physically, so I read it on my Kindle, but oh my god. I love Sawyer. It's my favorite one of the series so far. I give it 5 stars, if you couldn't tell by my reaction already. One of the easiest 5 stars I've given for a book. He's a cowboy, obviously, because it's a Lucky River Ranch series. He is also a single dad. But what makes it even better, the female main character, Ava, she's a trainer for horse barrel racing. But she is a single mom. That's right, it's a single dad and a single mom. And it is so good. Like, I don't even know how to like, can you tell I'm like lost for words? That's how you know it's good. A book is good for me is when I just don't know how to like explain how much I love it. But what I mainly live for with this book is their communication. I love when the communication is clear and they actually focus and sit down and talk about it. And I love seeing those scenes, and I feel like we don't see that enough in romance books, getting to see the harder and the deeper conversations about like what they want in their future in their life. Like, they have a conversation about how she doesn't want to get married again because she's divorced. He wants to get married, so they kind of work through that and they try to figure out what it is that they really want in life, whether it's just like the idea of it or if it's what they actually want, which I really like. Because sometimes you don't know if you just like the idea of something or if you actually want it, and I think that's important to sit through and talk about and all of that. So I really like that they talk about this in the book. I love the found family aspect of it as well, and I can't wait for the next book, which is the next brother, Duke. It comes out December 2nd, and I'm so excited. It's him and Wheeler's book. Wheeler is the best friend of Molly from Cash, and it's an accidental pregnancy. And I love accidental pregnancies. I've said this before. If I know the book is about an accidental pregnancy, I am all for it. But if it's like randomly thrown into the book and it's not like the main thing, it's kind of like weird. But I'm really looking forward to this. They gave a hint to it at the end of Sawyer, and I'm like, I'm so excited for it. But yeah, Sawyer by Jessica Peterson, I give 5 stars. The next book, you guys are going to be like, what took you so long to read this? And I'm going to say, I don't know. And I'm going to regret it the rest of my life. But now that I've read it now, I'm so excited. And I'm actually really excited for this to be adapted into a movie. If you haven't guessed already, it's The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. First book I've ever read of Ali Hazelwood. I've been wanting to get into her other books, but I keep being told that I gotta start with this one. So I did. And why did no one tell me to read this sooner? Also, I have the hardcover edition because look how pretty it is. I don't even have the paperback edition. Because I saw this and I was like, let me just get this instead. It's so pretty. But I love this. Why did nobody tell me? I'm not a big science girly. Like, science was never my strong suit in school. But this book is perfect. I gave it 5 stars as well. I'm giving out 5 stars like candy this month. But I don't care. This completely deserves the 5 stars. It deserves the hype. It deserves all the love that it gets. I love a good fake dating story. And the pining that Adam has throughout this. If you don't know what this book's about, we have Adam, he's a professor at Stanford, and we have Olive, she is a 3rd-year PhD student. She accidentally kisses him in the hallway. It's a whole thing, you gotta read the book to understand for more, but then they end up fake dating, and it's so good, but he's pining after her for years, and it's perfect. Also, look at the bag. I forgot about this part. It says, you can fall in love, someone will catch you. If you know, you know. But I really, really, really enjoyed this book. And I can't wait to get into more of Ali Hazelwood's books. Alrighty, and then the next book I read, I started another series called the Game Changer series. Yes. The first book is Game Changer. Game Changer series, duh. As you can see, it's a hockey romance series before starting off, but this is the first book. We have Scott Hunter and we have Kip Grady. Scott is the captain of New York's hockey team. Kip works at a smoothie place. He's trying to figure out his life. I relate to Kip a lot. He's 25. I'm 24. Close enough. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do in his life. He's not completely happy with what he's doing. I mean, he's working at a smoothie job. And he meets Scott when Scott comes in to get a smoothie one day. And then he keeps coming back. It is a secret relationship. I did really enjoy this book. I rated it a 3.5. There were some things that just like, I was kind of like, about, but then other parts I really loved. By the end, I was like, yeah. And I wanted to give it higher, but there were things throughout it that just kind of made me, There was one moment where something happened with Kip. Bless you! There was one thing that happened with Kip, like maybe 75% in, 70, 80, somewhere in there. And it was just never brought up again. And I was kind of like, weird. I don't think it should have been in there to begin with. But I did really enjoy this first book of the series, 3.5. And then I snuck this book in very last minute. I finished it. I started it on the 30th and I finished it on the 31st, which I didn't think I was going to do. So I literally finished this on the last day of August. Heated Rivalry, Rachel Reed. It's being adapted into a TV show and I'm actually very excited. I don't know how I'm going to be able to watch it because it's going to be on Crave in Canada. I've actually never heard of Crave, But there's no news on where it's going to be internationally, so I need to figure that out. They need to figure that out so I know where I can watch it. I'm very excited for it. The casting for it is great too. But I did rate this 5 stars. So it's 2 hockey players, as you can tell. We have Shane Hollander and we have Ilya, I don't know, Rozanov? I don't want to say that wrong. We have a Canadian and a Russian hockey player, both in the NHL, 2 different teams. So if you couldn't tell by the title, it is Rivals to Lovers. It ranges from like 7 to 10 years. I can't remember the exact time span, but it kind of leads up to today. But I think today is like 2017, 2018, it might be 2019. I don't remember for sure what year, but they're rivals on the court and to the media and to like the outside world. But they've been hooking up for almost a decade. And then it obviously turns into lovers. I absolutely love this. I didn't realize I was flying through it so bad until I had 2 chapters left. And I was like, there is the last book of this series is a second book for these 2. And I'm very excited for that because I need to know more about their relationship. And after they become lovers, I loved their story. I flew through it. Easy 5 stars. I'm so excited for the adaptation. So excited for the second story of theirs. Those are the 8 books I read in the month of August. Let me know if you've read any of these, which one's your favorite. I think my favorite of the month was Sawyer. Easy 5 stars. Very, very easy 5 stars. Loved the book the whole way through. Just the communication, their story, them individually coming together, knowing what they want. I can't get over it. I love it. So that's going to be my favorite book of the month. But yeah, let me know what you've read and what your favorite was of August. So now that we've gone through the wrap up, let's transition over to September TBR. Alrighty, so I've moved us to my TBR cart because we're going to try our best to pick from the TBR cart because I have transitioned this to my fall TBR, which is another video I'm going to have coming soon of me picking my fall TBR, which is going to span from September all the way through November. And I'm very excited. So we're going to try to read all these books in 3 months, I believe. This is just the physical ones I have. There's a few that aren't out yet physically or at all that will be coming out throughout the months. So those will be added to this, but these are all the physical books I have that I want to read, not including the ones that have yet to be released. And I believe there's like 32. So we've got 32 books to read in 3 months, which I can do. So we're going to pick through these with TBR prompts. I want to do something more fun for next month's TBR. I want to do something Halloween-y theme, I think, but I don't know what for TBR. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know. You know I love picking out my TBR for each month, and I want to figure out of more fun, creative ways to do it, switch it up every few months, even though I could literally just pick from this jar forever. But I don't want you guys getting bored because I want this to be just as fun for you as it is for me. It'd be fun to switch something up, so if anyone has any ideas of how to do some other TBR prompt fun ways to pick a TBR, let me know. So let's get started. I forgot to switch over to this, but now that we have this, we can, I need to find a better thing to put this in because everything falls out. We're gonna put this here. Let's see, first pick fantasy, which is going to be easy because the entire bottom row is fantasy plus 4 up there. So we have a lot of fantasy we can choose from. I'm keeping a list here. This is my entire full TBR because these do include books that aren't out yet. So I don't want to forget those. But yeah, we have fantasy. But I want to go a little bit deeper into that because we have so many we could choose from. So we're going to do fantasy plus whatever this is. Fantasy, that is a red cover. That does narrow it down. 3 that we have, A Court of Thorn and Roses, On Wings of Blood. This has red in it. It's technically a black cover, but like the spread edges are also red. The inside's red. I forgot how gorgeous this is. Seek mind above blood, and if you must bleed, use it as ink. So here's another option. So out of these three, we're gonna do ACOTAR. We're gonna finally get to it this month. Trust. Next prompt. Book takes place in current season, which would be fall. Which, I'll be honest, I don't know when half of these take place. Does Pumpkin Spice Cafe take place in the fall? You'd think it would, but I was told that Cinnamon Bun Bookstore takes place in the summer. But it doesn't, that doesn't seem like a summer book, no? What do I know? But it says it's the season to fall in love. I feel like this is definitely more of like later in September. So I think we're gonna go with Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Easy. Third book. Published in 2022. That's not in focus, but I don't know if any books have been published in 2022. This might be 18. Whoa, why did the lighting get like that? What is up with this lighting? None of these came out in 2022, so we have to pick a new one. This is music based, but none of these are really music based. Another one. One word title. We can do one word title, we can work with that. So what we have is... What is up with the lighting all of a sudden? Why am I so bright? I apologize, this is not... When does Mate come out? The deciding factor of this is when Mate by Ali Hazelwood comes out. October 7th. So I could do either of these, but... So I think I might do this. My camera's at 5%. We have mystery. So we have the naturals. I'll say that's a mystery. We're gonna say it's mystery anyways. The only one left. We're not gonna do Not Quite Dead yet because it takes place on Halloween, so I kind of want to read this around Halloween. And we have Listen for the Lie. So we have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The only one left, Riley Sager. And Listen for the Lie, Amy Tintera. I think we're gonna make this easy. We're gonna do The Naturals because I've been meaning to read this for freaking ever. And I kind of want to save these two for more like October. So we're gonna do The Naturals. Alrighty. We're on our fifth one. Published in 2022 again. Last month, TBR didn't read. Oh my god, my camera's about to die. So last month I didn't read The Naturals, Apprentice to the Villain, and Garnet Flats. So we're gonna go with Garnet Flats because we already have The Naturals here. Ah, let me switch cameras. Ah. I apparently don't know how to charge my cameras because neither one of them has a not dead battery. So we're gonna finish this on my phone, so I apologize if the quality's not that good. We only have one more book to choose from anyways. Interesting video, I apologize. Ooh, okay. So we have 2025 release. That's good. I think what I'm gonna do, Wild Card by Elsie Silver comes out on the 9th. And I already know I'm going to read that. So we're going to add that to my TBR. I'm so excited. I love Elsie Silver. So we're going to add Wild Card as last book. That was easy. Thank God. Here are the books for my TBR this month. We'll go over them again. So first we have Fantasy. That's a red cover. We have ACOTAR, a book that takes place in the season we're in, fall. So we have Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And then the next is a one word title, Homebound by Meredith Trapp. And then we have Mystery. We're gonna do The Naturals, Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And then a TBR, a book from the TBR from the month prior that I didn't get to, Garnet Flats, Daphne Perry. And then a 2025 release, Wild Card, Elsie Silver. This is I think a very good September fallish vibe TBR. I'm very excited. But the real question is, which one do we read first? That's always the burning question, isn't it? And then once we finish the book, which one's next? Anyways, imagine Wildcard right here. And that's the completed TBR. So yes, thank you for watching. Apologies on the random camera switch. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, all the YouTube things. And I will see you for another video very soon. Stay tuned. I have a fall TBR where you can see all of these books discussed. And I have a Labor Day weekend vlog, reading vlog coming. So stay tuned for those. Okay, bye.